Continuous lines are a great way to sketch quickly and efficiently and trying to train your eyes to just see the lines that are actually there. So your first step is to take a mirror and to look at your face. And using only one line, you're not allowed to pick up your pen. Go ahead and start to draw your facial features. There you go. After you complete this, you're going to be asked to do the same thing, but you're going to not be allowed to look at the paper. So stare into the mirror and follow the lines that you see on your face, not what you know is there, and try to draw blindly. I don't know if you noticed this, but I sure do, that as I'm not looking at my paper, I'm looking at my face a lot harder, and therefore seeing details that maybe I didn't see before. And even if this drawing turns out super weird, I still feel like what I got out of it is that I was really observing well. And I think that's super important as an artist to be able to observe and see what's really there.
I'm called the police.
Babe, I'm videoing right now. I'm keeping that in the video. Alright, so this is definitely weird, but it's kind of cool. I actually like it better than the first one. I think it has a lot more interesting quality when I'm not trying to control it, but when I'm really just drawing what I see. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to draw a male and a female for you. You can decide which one you want to draw, but I want to show you all the variations that are in both. To start, draw a circle. Draw a line down vertically and horizontally in your circle. Half of the diameter shown here is going to show you where your chin will be. So go ahead and mark that. Females have a little bit shorter chin, so instead of right on that line, go up a little bit. Men have more angular jaws, so you want to draw kind of sharper lines, two pointing down toward the chin. Curving like this to create your jawline. Some men have kind of indented chins. You can add that if you would like. I don't tend to draw with light lines, but I would suggest that you do since we'll be erasing a lot. For the female, her jawline is going to be much more smooth and rounded. Less sharp. Okay, you can go ahead and erase these inside lines. And clean up the shape of your head so that it looks normal. I know the top looks super big sometimes. Oftentimes we forget that a face is not the only thing on a head. There's a hairline and a forehead, and you have to leave space for all that. So refine your lines for your face. Nice and light. We're not trying to do dark yet. Go ahead and draw a line vertically down the center of each shape or your shape. And then again in half horizontally. You can call this the eye line. Cut your shape in half again. This will be your nose. And again one more time for the mouth line. Moving up this way, You might be able to see the line that you already drew in half. This is the hairline. Okay, now that we've done some mapping, we can go ahead and jump in on the eyes. The eyes we're going to create 5 even spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. I like to start with the middle to define what size it will be. Notice that where the nose goes is one shape, one eye shape, distance. So you have an eye shape, and an eye. And then 2 more on the sides. So you can break your face up into 5 eyes total. I'm going to draw a general almond shape for the eyes, but again, this will change because all people are unique and have different shapes. If you want to look at yourself in the mirror and try to decide what kind of eye shape you have, you can. People whose eyes show more of the iris look more alert. If you chop off the iris by adding your eyelid a little bit lower like this, you're going to have people that look more chill. Add your circle for your iris in, and add your eyelid. Now to add the eyebrows, if you would like a relaxed looking face, you draw the eyebrows closer to the eye. You're going to come out a little bit from the eye. Men tend to have more rectangular eyebrows. I'm going to draw a general shape and have them kind of arch with the eye shape. You can add stray hairs to make it look more natural and flowing and going in the direction that hairs grow. Her eyebrows I'm going to do more curved and soft, less bushy. Okay, let's move on to the nose. You're going to draw 2 lines coming down from the inside of the eyes all the way to where you drew that nose line. And I just noticed that mine is not quite halfway. I'm going to fix it a little bit. Okay, a medium length nose, you'll draw a circle right above the line. Of course, you can change this depending on people's bone structure. On the bottom of that circle, you'll trace darker and curve up, creating the nostrils. You will then arch around them like this, meeting with those lines we drew from the eyes to create the sides of the nose. You can draw a line coming down from the eyebrow, meeting with the side of the nose to create kind of a shadow it. Erase the lines that we drew coming out from the eye. Again, a little shadow there to show the indentation of the nose. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, kind of erase these lines we've been working with. If you would like to really make your shadows effective, you can get part of a napkin and fold it like this and kind of blend along the edge. Now we're going to move on to the lips. You should have a line where you marked for your mouth. Go ahead and draw a triangle down from the center of the nose like that, coming down to your mouth line. A little bit down from the nose, you're going to add a Cupid's bow V. Not everybody has a V, so if you're drawing somebody that has more of a rounded lip, do it so subtly. I'm gonna straighten this side up a little bit. As you can see, no one is perfect when they're doing this. You're probably gonna have to erase and play with it. In between this Cupid's bow and the bottom lip, you can draw a middle line where the mouth opens. Darken the corners. And meet up with the top Cupid's bow to create the top lip. You can erase your lines after this. Shadow the line where we said the mouth line is. You can shadow that because that's the bottom lip. Bottom lips tend to look better if you don't add an outline, but you just have that bottom shadow. And top lips are generally darker, so you can shade that in and use your napkin to smudge. Now we're going to create the middle line where your two lips meet. Towards where that Cupid's bow is, you can do a rounded shape and have it curve up and then out. Up and then out. Again, everybody's mouth line is different. This is just a general one that you can use when making up people, but it's better to observe real humans to get this more accurately. You can create a shadow in where the Cupid's bow area is that meets up to the nose by creating a triangle. The side where you created this shadow for the nose, you can have be a little bit darker. I'm going to do just 2 lines on the female because everybody's nose to mouth connection area is a little bit different, so that's another way to go. Alright, now let's get on to the ears. I'm going to draw a line from the eye out a little bit further and from the nose out. This is going to show us where our ears will go. Eye to nose. Ears are generally bigger at the top and get smaller toward where they meet your face. And females tend to have a little bit smaller ears than males. Not always, but just play around with it. Make a little triangle where the face and ear meet further back. We're going to create a crease up here where the ear has kind of a lip that's raised. And it kind of arches to meet with the face. Then on the inside of that line, draw another line that comes down and curves. Alright. You can play with shading in the ear to kind of darken shapes, set them back, make them not as noticeable, since the eyes are not, or the ears are not the focal point. Erase any of these lines that you haven't already in the face. We're going to keep the forehead lines for now. For a hairline for a man, you can start by adding some sideburns. And then creating whatever shape they have here. Men tend to have more angular forehead shapes or hairlines, whereas women have more rounded ones. So I'm going to try to create more of a square shape here. Everyone's are different. And then for the hair, I'm going to kind of add an outline where the top is longer than the bottom, kind of a modern day hairstyle. The guy that I'm drawing has curly hair. If you have straight hair, just draw more angular lines. You can add stray hairs here and there to kind of add the more natural effect. And then I'm gonna have it be short and blended down here on the sides. I'm angling my hair kind of like it's wrapping around a head. I'm going to use my napkin again to smudge inside the hair so that I don't have to fill it all in. And maybe define some areas that got lost. Okay, for the female's hair, I'm going to pick a side for a part to be on and create a rounded hairline. She may have some bangs. I'm gonna have them kind of tuck behind her ear here, creating round shapes of the hair moving in. Maybe she has a piece up in front. Straight hair again, we're just adding like straight lines to define it. Now to add the neck, men tend to have a wider neck. So come to where the cheek comes out its farthest point and add a line right below it. Females tend to have more narrow necks, so you can come in even further. Now behind the neck for the female, if she has long hair, you're going to add a shade where the hair is because the light isn't hitting it as well back there. You can blend that out. And again, play around with the features, make them as unique as you want. Some people have thin hair, some people have really big hair. Just play around with it. You can erase the forehead lines if they're still showing. Add a definition in a few areas. I'm gonna make her chin a little smaller. You can add lines for cheekbones, rolling off the face, pointing towards the lips. Again, everybody is different, so when you go home and you try to draw yourself or a family member, definitely tweak these different lines and shapes to your unique person. Thank you. For today's project, you can get an app to try to make it easier. It's called Projector. Here's what it looks like. And maybe this doesn't just make it easier, but it also helps you to have like different kind of line quality. So go to Photo Library. I'm going to choose this picture where I have a mask on to go to the store. So you turn the visibility all the way up and find your surface. And then as you can see, I kind of like can play with the size. Then I click lock. See my hand going through? So after you get some basic lines down, you can go ahead and go in and fix some of the problem areas just by looking at the picture. Alright, so once you get to this point, you can go ahead and get your watercolors or markers out. So in our first lesson, we learned how to draw and to see line in kind of an abstract way, but also how to observe more accurately. In our second lesson, we learned proportions of the face and where things generally go and how to alter them for different people. And today we're learning how to use line and color to create a more abstract expression of yourself. So the reason we're taking a selfie is because you can kind of control the dynamic movement of your face. It doesn't have to be straight on. You can add props or things. And now we will add color. So again, I'm going to kind of follow the abstract nature of this painting, not really trying to make it too lifelike, but more just playing with the color on the page and filling in the shapes in an interesting way. You can do the same if you have marker, but maybe just add patterns everywhere. That would be a cool way to express yourself. I want you to play around with blending two colors together, with using water to make areas lighter and a lot of pigment to make areas darker. You can use something like a paper towel to be picking up different areas to add a nice texture.